Hello there, you're with NDTV. I'm Maha Siddiqui. It was a historic moment as India's first ever indigenously built warship was commissioned this morning. INS Vikrant was commissioned at the Kochi shipyard by the Prime Minister and a host of dignitaries. The new naval ensign was also unveiled. India shedding a stamp of its colonial past with an ensign inspired by Chhatrapati Shivaji's seal. Prime Minister Modi commissioned INS Vikrant, India's first home-built aircraft carrier, in a grand ceremony. The 45,000-ton warship has been built at a cost of 20,000 crore rupees.
India's new Navy flag fluttering on the deck of Vikrant, India's first made-in-India aircraft carrier. Commissioned this morning by the Prime Minister, Vikrant is now INS Vikrant, and the new flag, inspired by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, is meant to take the Navy away from its colonial past.
आज भारत ने गुलामी के एक निशान, गुलामी के एक बोझ को अपने सीने से उतार दिया है.
For the Navy, the induction of Vikrant is a highlight of its Atmanirbhar Bharat program. 76% of the warship is made of Indian components, all of which have been integrated here at the Kochi shipyard. Vikrant is an assertion of Indian maritime power, said the Prime Minister.
ये 21वीं सदी के भारत के परिश्रम, प्रतिभा, प्रभाव और प्रतिबद्धता का प्रमाण है.
Significantly, Mr. Modi highlighted the process of inducting women into the Indian Navy. Warships like the Vikrant will embark women sailors.
विक्रांत जब हमारे समुद्री क्षेत्र की सुरक्षा के लिए उतरेगा तो उस पर नौसेना की अनेक महिला सैनिक भी तैनात रहेगी.
The Vikrant is 262 meters long and 62 meters wide. The warship displaces 43,000 tons when fully loaded. She can travel at a maximum speed of 28 knots or 51 kilometers per hour and has an endurance of 7,500 nautical miles or 13,890 kilometers. There are 2,200 compartments on board, and she can embark 30 aircrafts including MiG-21K fighter jets, Kamov 31, MH-60R multi-role helicopters.
There is no doubt in my mind that we require 3 aircraft carriers, one on each seaboard, the west and the east, with the 3rd aircraft, if not available, under maintenance.
For now, the officers and the sailors of INS Vikrant have a tough road ahead. In just a few months, INS Vikrant goes out for trial to accept fighter jets on its deck, and that is the most challenging part of its development. And only once that process is complete, INS Vikrant can be considered battle-worthy. With camera person Ashok Mahale, I'm Akshay Dongre for NDTV.
Let's move on now. Activist Teesta Setalvad got interim bail from the Supreme Court, which said that the police had already got enough time to interrogate her. The court told Teesta Setalvad to cooperate with the investigations as well. As part of the bail formalities, she had to submit her passport, for which she should be produced before the concerned court as early as possible, is what the court also said today. She has been in jail since June over allegations of a conspiracy to destabilize the Gujarat government after the 2002 riots.
Supreme Court has granted interim bail to activist Teesta Setalvad, arrested by the Gujarat police for alleged conspiracy to destabilize the state government after the Gujarat riots. The apex court has directed that Setalvad be produced before the concerned court in Gujarat on Saturday to complete the interim bail formalities. The court said there is no reason to keep Teesta Setalvad further in custody. Gujarat police have already interrogated her in custody for 7 days. Setalvad should surrender her passport and cooperate with the investigation. Setalvad had moved the Supreme Court challenging the lower court's order rejecting her bail plea. Setalvad had said that the FIR was a copy-paste of the SC judgment and no case was made out against her. The Gujarat government opposed her bail plea, alleging that she had forged affidavits in the courts to destabilize the state government and benefited financially.
Supreme Court, while granting interim bail to Teesta Setalvad, has also clarified that the Gujarat High Court can decide on her regular bail plea independent of this interim bail order.
Now, Karnataka's Murugamat Seer, Shivamurthy Shanararu, has been sent to police custody for 4 days by local court. He was taken to the court this evening on a wheelchair from the intensive care unit of a hospital in Chitradurg, 200 kilometers from Bengaluru, where he got admitted in the morning due to health complications. The court criticized the police for not informing it that the Seer has been shifted to a hospital from the jail. It told the jail authorities to give medical reports. In fact, the court said that the police will have to ensure medical care to the Seer in their custody, and he should be taken to a hospital only if his health condition worsens.
A dramatic midnight arrest of the Lingayat Seer in Chitradurga on charges of sexual abuse of minors, the outcome of 6 days of mounting pressure. But by daytime, controversy surfaced again. The Seer was rushed to hospital claiming to suffer from cardiac issues and admitted to the ICU, skipping his court appearance and to avoid police custody and seek more time to apply for bail in Karnataka High Court. As police formed a cordon, doctors streamed in and out, making it appear like an emergency. One doctor even claimed he needed to be shifted to a bigger hospital near Bengaluru.
ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬಾರಿ ಈಗ ECG ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇರೋದು ದೃಢಪಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಒಂದು ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಷನ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಹೈಯರ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ನಮಗೆ.
Protesters though claimed this was more drama.
कोई भी घर की लड़की हो, हमारे घर की हो या और घर की हो, लड़की लड़की है. जो भी लड़की हो, अपनी बहन माँ के जैसा अपन लोग देखते हैं. तो यहाँ पे कोई भी या मठ वाला हो या मठ के स्वामी जी हो, इनके लिए बहुत बड़ी इंक्वायरी करना चाहिए.
The judge demanded that the Seer be present physically, blasting the cops and the Seer. In fact, for creating the drama, the judge questioned the cops that if the Seer fell ill just in a matter of 24 hours since his arrest.
Only after this that the Seer was moved from the hospital to court in a wheelchair and sent to 4 days in police custody, in where he will be questioned over charges made by 2 minor girls who were studying in his hostel that the Seer sexually abused them for 3.5 years. It was clear that from the start the police made every effort to minimize public focus of the arrest, as confusion over where he was taken. Finally, it emerged that he was shifted to police station 30 kilometers away from the mutt, where he was inquired in the station. However, the Seer failed to cooperate.
Nearly 6 days after the Seer has been arrested for POCSO charges. In fact, what is being questioned now is the preferential treatment that's been given by the police. All that the public want now is that a fair probe, and they expect justice for these minor girls. In Chitradurga, with Govind Shrija for NDTV.
Meanwhile, senior journalist P. Sainath has returned an award conferred on him by the Murugamat. He said that this was in solidarity with the survivors and with the cause of justice in this case. Further on, he added, I hereby return the Basava Shri Award and 5 lakh rupees prize money that came with it by conferred on me by the Mutt in 2017. Moving on now, the All India Football Federation elected Kalyan Chaubey as its president. This after FIFA had suspended AIFF for undue interference of third party or the court-appointed administrators. Kalyan Chaubey is a former goalkeeper, though he never played for the national team. Ironically, he defeated former India captain Baichung Bhutia 33-1. Kalyan Chaubey is a BJP politician from Bengal. He lost the Lok Sabha elections to Trinamool Congress's Mahua Moitra in the Krishnanagar constituency.
Perhaps the best known name in Indian football, Baichung Bhutia, has just lost the race to be the new president of Indian football, 33 votes to 1. The winner is Kalyan Chaubey, from the BJP in Bengal, but also an ex-footballer. In fact, he is the first player to lead the All India Football Federation. It's also the first election since 1988. In the last 34 years, there have been only 2 presidents of Indian football, both high-profile politicians.
I said, name me a federation, whether it's a state federation or national federation, there is no involvement from state government or central government or any politician per se. I said, and I think at least my identity is first as a football player that nobody will deny. So I don't know why this question is being.
Kalyan Chaubey is the first footballer to become the AIFF president. I asked several people inside the football house if they knew for how many times he has represented India. In most cases, they did not know the answer. Record books will tell you that Chaubey has not debuted for India, even though he has been a part of the Indian squad for several SAF meets. He beat Baichung Bhutia, a man who has represented India for as many as 104 times.
Bhutia will be one of the eminent members required by FIFA, the global body, in the executive committee.
All have to work together to take the game forward, and I think that's very, very important. And hopefully I think it'll be a great team and we'll continue to work. Let's see.
Today's election is vital for Indian football. FIFA has been demanding elections, even banning the AIFF briefly in a related matter. But who is Kalyan Chaubey? He's been goalkeeper of the year twice in club football. A BJP politician from Bengal, he lost to Mahua Moitra in Krishnanagar Lok Sabha seat in 2019. He was nominated by the Gujarat Football Association and seconded by the Arunachal Pradesh Football Association.
My priority is to take Indian football ahead as much as forward possible, given the challenges, and we'll take it forward. We'll not speak that I will bring moon to you, but definitely we'll try and reach to moon.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it culminated in the Kiran Rijiju visiting the member associations, the voters, to and to exhort them to not vote for Baichung. But it's been the trend has been going on. Initially the member associations were very emphatic that they won't allow an outsider to come in, but they changed their position. Most of them continue to say that they won't allow, but some of them changed their position after a week, 10 days. So obviously there were some other interests that were prevailing, prevailing over them.
Kalyan Chaubey's win marks a big shift in Indian football. He will have the big task of making the sport corruption-free and taking the men's as well as the women's football team closer to participating in the World Cup. In New Delhi, with camera person Prem Singh, this is Rika Roy for NDTV.
Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate has questioned Trinamool Congress MP Abhishek Banerjee for nearly 7 hours in the coal scam case. He was questioned at the CGO complex in Salt Lake, Kolkata. After the questioning, he was in fact speaking with his supporters, where he said that he is ready to face questioning 30 times over but won't bow his head before the BJP.
This is not a coal scam or a cattle scam. It is a Home Minister scam. I'm reiterating. If someone needs to be held responsible for this, this is only the Home Minister. Otherwise, how it is possible that the collieries which comes under the purview of central government, especially under the Ministry of Coal and Power, which is guarded by institutions like CISF, the border which is protected by institutions and forces like BSF, how is coal smuggling or cattle smuggling happening without any help or assistance from the central government?
As soon as Abhishek Banerjee came out, he held a press conference, and there, of course, he took the battle right to the Home Minister's doorstep, using the same slang for Amit Shah that BJP spokespersons always use to deride and ridicule Rahul Gandhi. The same thing he used for Amit Shah, the Home Minister. He also said that this is something that cannot happen without assistance of the central government. Now, how did he reason that? He said that, look, this coal is guarded by forces like the CISF. Who do they report to? The Union Home Ministry. The border, if it's about cattle smuggling, is guarded by the BSF. Who do they report to? The Union Home Ministry. So why are they going after us? Then he went on to clarify why. And that, of course, is what Abhishek Banerjee said is that, look, when these MLAs from Jharkhand, which is in a state of political uncertainty, were actually headed somewhere to make a deal, Bengal police and Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee stopped them, arrested them, and spoiled the BJP's plans for bringing down a democratically elected government in Jharkhand. That is why they are upset with us. So he said it in as many words.
The G7 countries have agreed to a plan to impose price cap on Russian oil. The group of 7 most industrialized countries are set to introduce a price cap for global purchase of Russian oil, a measure the US hopes will ease energy market pressures and slash Moscow's overall revenues. G7 finance ministers are, in fact, decided this at a meeting, and they are looking at now formally planning this out. This is what has been put out by the G7 in a statement.
Russland erzielt gegenwärtig hohe Gewinne aus dem Export von Rohstoffen wie Öl. Und dem wollen wir entschieden entgegentreten. Wir haben in der EU im 6. Sanktionspaket ja bereits beschlossen, Ölimporte zu beenden. Und wir wollen nicht, dass Russland weiter durch diese Verkäufe profitiert.
Well, and Lakshman Narasimhan has joined the long list of Indian origin CEOs. He'll be helming the coffee chain Starbucks. His appointment comes at a time when Starbucks has been struggling with more than 200 of its stores in the United States having unionized in the past year, with workers pushing for better benefits and wages at a time of surging inflation. Lakshman Narasimhan is being brought in to revitalize and reinvent the chain.
Coffee giant Starbucks has appointed Indian origin Lakshman Narasimhan as their new CEO. Lakshman Narasimhan will join on October 1st after replacing Howard Schultz, who will continue as interim chief until April 2023. Having been born and brought up in Pune, Maharashtra, with a degree in mechanical engineering, Lakshman began his career by working for McKinsey for 19 years, rising to director and later joined PepsiCo as chief commercial officer, and more recently was CEO of Reckitt Benckiser. 55-year-old Lakshman Narasimhan joins a long list of global CEOs of Indian origin taking charge of global firms.
Starbucks joining the bandwagon of Indian origin CEOs is amazing. Their effort to reach out to the Indian consumer with a regionalized menu is a first and a sign of global consumer brand giants prioritizing the Indian consumer.
In the words of Mahindra Group chairman Anand Mahindra, what was initially a trickle of water has turned into a tsunami. The appointment of Indian origin CEOs at the world's most iconic companies is now an unstoppable trend. International boardrooms consider them to be almost safe leadership bets. Sakshi Bajaj for NDTV.